This is the VW Arteon R shooting brake, one of the hot dream estates there. You wanted to see this review with Thomas and Autogefuehl. Let's go! In the front we can see this long light strip right there, really cool, and this lengthened hood right there for the Arteon. Here in the R version, sportier lower bumper and also high gloss black design right there, and it really fits to the typical Volkswagen R color, lapis blue. Yeah, also something that comes close to Thomas blue, definitely. So design-wise, already really stunning. Technology-wise, LED is standard, but there's no matrix LED. However, the turning indicators look really fancy still, both front and also in the rear. Oh, by the way, that license plate though, look at that, VOP for Wolfsburg, VW headquarters, AR Arteon or Arteon R. 661, well, 666 would probably then be best then for this evil vehicle. Can we just all take a second and praise this side profile? Wow, amazing, isn't it? Tell me in the comments if you agree. Length at 4.86 meters or 191 inches. The wheels start from 18-inch in Germany, from 19-inch in the UK. And these here are the optional 20-inch wheels, and you always get bigger brakes with the lapis blue colored brake calipers. Then some R design clues right there. And also these beautiful contrasting mirror caps right there. And you can also get the GT, the Gran Turismo, which has the falling roof line. We also have a review of that. This one on here today, the shooting brake, the estate continuing right there. But I mean, this is to me one of the sleekest looking estates on the market and still has really strong shoulders right there. It also sits 20 millimeters lower than a normal Arteon. Has the DCC, the dynamic chassis control, the adaptive suspension as standard, and we will definitely use that on the motorway on the German Autobahn today. Sorry for the dirty tires, by the way, I was on the ready stage before, you know. And also a smoking hot perspective here with 3/4 in the rear. Wow, that looks amazing, doesn't it? And not often we have said that about Volkswagen vehicles, which usually have a rather conservative design, appealing mass market and so on. And with this one here, they really went far out as for the daring design. Then look at these here, the tail lamps also in a modern style. And the GT to me looks even cooler a little bit. Again, easy to compare it here on Autogefuehl. But again, for the estate, I think design-wise, this is definitely one of my favorite estates. What about you? Tell me. Then in the lower part, you can see massive exhaust, 4 pipes, and they are really for real. No Autogefuehl fake exhaust police either today. The outer part just is a little bit wider than the inner part, so this is very well done. There is no acrylic exhaust option available, unlike with the Golf R, but this one already gives you a quite good sound. And special thing here, torque split in the rear, like the new Golf R and the new Tiguan R. That means the all-wheel drive is front plus rear, but then from the rear, you can also split the torque between the wheels, left and right, so you can send more torque to the outside wheel in the corner, making it a little bit spin around and less front wheel biased. And I can tell you, in the driving part, this has been working very well. Look forward to that. And under the hood there is this 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, turbocharged, 320 horsepower here, and all-wheel drive, front plus rear on demand, but of course tuned to a way that more power gets to the rear than with the usual Arteon. This is the khaki, rather the old school one, but I prefer this one. It looks classy, it just feels more premium than the new high gloss ones. Door closing sound, although we have frameless doors and dual glass installation. Here, look at that. And it's a very solid sound, although there is the frameless thing. And then inside of the doors, there's also ambient lighting to come up later. Here at the inside, this is a disappointment. It's just, you know, like soft touch plastics, but there should be a softer leatherette cover here for your arm. Seats look cool, but in this configuration with the integrated head restraint, it's just available with the animal skin cover. That's a disappointment. These seats are also standard for the UK. In Germany, however, you can get the base seats without integrated head restraint, but they're already sporty. Then with fabric and microfiber, they are the ones to be preferred, also for better climate comfort. And these seats, by the way, they would be available kind of in the Golf R with microfiber. Yeah, but sadly not here in the Arteon. Yeah, and that's why I already talked to the responsible product manager about this issue, and especially the UK configurations often of the German premium manufacturers, they are so limited and so like pre-selected, and we often get the feedback here from our UK fans saying like, what have they done there for us? Why can't we pick this, or why is it this way pre-selected? Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Then let's take a look here. Steering wheel up and down, in and out, comfortable seating position. So although it's this performance estate, it has a comfortable seating position. All electric seat here, also with electric lumbar support, and lowest position in the seat, 1.86 with a lot of headroom left. There is also a panoramic roof available if you want. Interior overview with a clean setup, soft touch here. The analog clock has been removed since the Arteon Facelift. It looks cleaner, but it had something special definitely. Then the steering wheel here with a perforated design. Left side, the R button, zoom more to that, but all capacitive buttons, and they have some kind of haptic feedback, but so much hard to control while driving. Digital instruments, 11.7 inch, they are standard. Right side, 8-inch screen would be standard. Optional this one, 9.2 inch, but then also buttonless. The smaller screen has still a volume knob, for example, so I'd rather advise you to go for that if available in your market. Then the lower part has the capacitive AC unit. For a capacitive AC unit, it is okay, but still, give me back the old knobs. Why? Lower part, inductive charging pad for your smartphone, and also wireless for the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but you can still pick the cable if you like. And then here, cup holders, adaptive, nicely done, and this armrest here with some space underneath. And should you wonder, is it practical to get your smartphone in and out this small hole here in the front? No, it's not, but it's somewhat okay. And that's what I mean here, capacitive BS or hashtag capacitive curse for the cruise control, travel assist, so you can have both longitudinal and side aid from the car. And here the R button to pick the driving modes. Good to have it here on the steering wheel, but again, real buttons is what I would prefer. Oh, and look at these special shifting pedals. They are actually very nice and very long actually as well. And press and hold them, and then automatically goes back a couple of gears. Here the left one. We'll test that one on the German Autobahn. Digital instruments look like this. So in the middle part you can, for example, also have the map, but also change the view to have the map all over the screen. So this is quite helpful, and they overall do a good job. I rather stick it, with these. And when you go to the R mode, for example, well, nothing changes much here, but the top part there on the top right, you can see that I would have wished maybe for a special R design or something. Good to have still a classic light switch here, and this is then the switch here for the head-up display. If I press this one, this happens, and I think for a car that is more than 50,000 pounds or more than 60,000 euros, that is not suitable. It does aid you, yes. However, I think a real integrated one would be more suitable for a car at this positioning. Apple CarPlay integration looks like this. Well done. The Harman Kardon sound system, 12 speakers, is actually very good and quite bass heavy, but you can also pick some different sound modes if you want to tune the bass a little bit down. Yo. Then this main menu, and since the recent update it also runs a little bit faster once again. Still, the older systems were just faster overall. You can also switch some things around the left side in the digital cockpit. This is the performance monitor with the G-forces and the pressure and the oil temperature. Also quite fun to look at that. And this is here like another home screen you can go to, for example. And then we have the GPS, which could be a little bit more responsive. But yeah, as I said, now a little bit updated, and now it's a little bit better. Still not the best, but you get along. And here this top light is gone. Before it was like this whole area was lighting. And now there's just the two lights right there. So before it was more spectacular, but some also said it was too much. But yeah, I just loved it. And in the rear, plenty of space, so much legroom. If you compare other cars at this length, this one here has more legroom actually because of the front wheel based platform and the relatively short hood. Interesting. So that you do not put 6 cylinders in this vehicle has an advantage then right here. Also with some seat pockets right there, and also comfortable seating position in the rear, and you still also have a lot of headroom even if you're sitting as a tall adult in the rear. Then ISOFIX each at the outside seats, and the middle climate unit, also with seat heating for the rear. And in the lower part you also have a rear power socket, however it's quite shallow and slim, so MacBook charger would be a problem. Oh, and what's nice is that also at the rear door from the inside we have soft touch at the top part. That's nice. Now to that unique thing about this vehicle, the trunk. Here electric hatch, and then 560 up to 1,630 liters rounded, something like this. And below the cover here, the lead difference between the GT and the S8 not that high, but actually when you fold down and take everything out, then it has 75 liters more. But you're just more flexible, like in this area here with the S8, the shooting brake version. Here you can see cabin trolley fits in easily, almost looks lost. The width, meter or 40 inches in the front, a little bit more narrow towards this area here. Then it has this kind of step here. That's not the best, but overall very well usable. The total height here is 31 inches or almost 80 centimeters. And of course you can put out this one here or have this 2 layers like this. So there are a lot of flexible options what you can do with that. Underneath, replacement tire is possible, a lot of space. There's here the sound equipment for the 12-speaker German sound system. And they did go with this loading sill here that you can just score more height. And the length then here, for the normal length, is already 46 inches or 1.16 meters. And then we can also fold the seats like this. You see here, there is this, maybe like for dogs, this top cover you can move up. And let's see, in the middle we can score some 2 meters or almost 80 inches to the seats. Even that is possible here. To my driver's seat, it's 78 inches or 2 meters. So yeah, this is a very flexible vehicle, love that. Welcome to Thomas's active driving lounge here with the Volkswagen Arteon R. Today in the shooting brake version here in the driving part. And when you press and hold the R button, then you always get to the race mode, no matter which mode you are in before. Otherwise you have to basically click it through. Oh, there was a crackle from the rear exhaust there. There's no front one anyway. You know what I mean. 30 kilometers an hour, motorway, German Autobahn, let's go. Plop, that's 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour, good acceleration, 320 horsepower, 4.9 seconds is the acceleration figure to 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour, and here really stable at higher speeds. DCC is tuned to a stiffer mode. Wow, this feels really sporty, but yet comfortable. This is the cool thing about this vehicle. It is a Gran Tourer, as the GT version is suggesting. So it is super comfortable here on the motorway, even at higher speeds. Also good noise insulation. Now here, very finely tuning the brakes. Very nice. So it feels very, very good. Wow. And there we're back again. And we can, for example, also switch back to one of the normal driving modes. This button here is kind of sensitive. So usually when you press it, you end up in the R mode anyway. So maybe that's intended, but when you want to switch it back, it's a little bit too sensitive actually. You can also switch it here down below, but I think it's really good to have it here in the steering wheel and don't have like something down there, and yeah, definitely a good thing to have. Woo! When we're in the comfort mode, then the exhaust is really super silent, gears are being switched up. 7th gear now, the highest one available for more fuel savings, and a good middle average figure is like 9 liters, 100 kilometers for the fuel consumption. Something around 30 mpg, both US and UK. And of course it will be worse when you hammer it like I just did, and you can also score some better figures when you, for example, cruise control, motorway and steady speed all the way through. And let's imagine you are in this comfort mode here, and well, first of all, what about the sound here in the tunnel, still when we're still in the tunnel? Hey! That was nice. Have you heard that crackle at the end? Pretty decent, right? I mean, yes, we're all still dreaming of the Akrapovic exhaust here in the Arteon R, but being not the Akrapovic exhaust, still a decent job. And the other thing I wanted to show you is, you know, let's say even if we are in the normal comfort mode and we have it like in a really, really high gear, and I think, oh, in this corner I want to accelerate, press and hold the shifting pedal. Seen that? So when I press and hold, it directly hops down multiple gears. Here also very good job here in that corner. Of course, the long wheelbase appears here then. This one 5 centimeters or 2 inches longer wheelbase than we have in the VW Passat. They use the same platform, however, but this one feels a little more, you know, grounded on the motorway due to the longer wheelbase, so to speak, and maybe then a little bit less agile in a way. But here at the R, it's of course the complete opposite, because we have this torque split in the rear, and it will have a bigger effect when we go, you know, very soon our up the hill race. So some more motorway driving ahead now, and then going straight up the hill and test more about this torque split. But here about this shifting down, it was pretty cool, because otherwise when we are in this now more economic mode or comfort mode and we're in a very high gear, and maybe you, well, that's a lot of smoke coming up from the interior of that chimney, Maserati Coupe. Well, sometimes maybe you want to stay in the comfort mode, and then you think, but I need this acceleration right now. And then it's actually a cool choice. You don't have to switch to driving modes or something. Just then press and hold this pedal, and then just press and hold this pedal. There we go. Nice. Not sure why it didn't work the first time. What did I do wrong? I don't know. But now it worked, and also with a nice sound then. And this is always a good possibility to just get the nice acceleration boost. Of course, you can also hit the pedal multiple times. That would also work, but this is of course an uncomfortable feature. And I mean, from like I did before, from 7th to 2nd gear, like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, 5 times. That was a great calculation, wasn't it? Well, here back in the tunnel, by the way, seeing the ambient lighting here also. Of course, I've set everything to lapis blue or Thomas blue. Yeah, and that's really nicely done. I do miss like the really prominent light on the top. Some said it was annoying. I loved it. I don't know, it was special for the vehicle. Yeah, the analog clock is also gone with since the facelift of the Arteon, so you can definitely argue about that, but you cannot argue about the performance. Now the stretched high-speed corner, really well situated on the road. 20-inch wheels, of course, for the maximum sportiness, and still decent comfort from the DCC, this adaptive suspension. So that's really astonishing. Nicely done. You feel very much in control of that vehicle without being too exaggerated, too sporty or uncomfortable. And here once again, nice on the brakes in situations like these. Just wait for this car to pass, and then I can shift down myself. Here we go. Yeah, wow. What a cool, fun and nice experience here with the Arteon R. Does it make a difference if you have the shooting brake or the GT, the Gran Turismo, this fastback style? Yeah, I mean, when you think about these differences, I feel like maybe it's just a subjective note, but the acoustics on the interior are always somewhat different. It's not that it's louder or something, but when there's more like space in the rear a little bit, you always have the feeling of, yeah, something is different, you know, when you're very sensitive to that, but not in a good or bad way or something. So I feel like a subtle difference, but the driving is exactly the same actually, you know, like from the whole handling and so on. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun. This was performance of the engine. It's only the 4-cylinder 2-liter turbo engine, but it has definitely great boost. We've seen that. Yeah, 5-cylinder would have been cool in that one, right? Like recently in the Audi RSQ3 or in the RS3. But what about this torque split? Let's drive up the hill. Once more in the tunnel. Yeah, I mean, when you think about this, will probably be used as a family estate. It's got some bite. Now goes up the hill. Let's see about this torque split. So when I accelerate out of the corner, yes, nice. There's also been sent some torque at the outside wheel, or a little bit more to the outside wheel than to the inside wheel. Yes, excellent. And this really makes the car come around here. Also, the road is still a little bit slippery, that it helps with that. And indeed, the car feels more agile with that. Really, really cool. I love that. I mean, with a Golf R, the effect is a little bit stronger even. But here, of course, since we have the long wheelbase, that really helps to make the car feel shorter than it actually is. Here, second gear is really good way to move it up here. And you can really get out of the corners better than with accelerating. Yeah, really getting a little bit loose in the rear, just a little notch, still well in control. Wow, this moves very, very well. I love that. And let's hope this hairpin corner is free, so we can go to, yes, it's free, first gear now, and let's see how that one moves. Wow, excellent. I mean, this is a very long Arteon R. Wow, and it really came around in the rear just a little bit. That was so much fun. Wow, really impressed. And, well, if you love this vehicle here, we also have a review of the Arteon GT in white. So completely different styling, but also great fun. Tune into that. And of course, also to some of the interesting competitors.